All right, folks, welcome back to our semifinal matchup here in the Scrub Cup. If you are just joining us, we are going live here with the semifinal round one game here between Team 4 Slaughterhouse and Team 13 Trigger Happy. I couldn't fit their name in the entire game box there, but joining me as always as my co-commentator, it is Pulse. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. We just finished off one of the first round games, so we're moving on to this game now, which, as you can see on the overlay, it's Trigger Happy versus Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, so we're in the map bans right now, and Pulse, let me know what has been banned so far.
The first two to come out, the first two bands to come out, rather, are Route 66 and Oasis. Um, those are both interesting because they don't match up quite as well with some of the other maps. Both of them can lend themselves to things like triple DPS or maybe some Bastion, maybe some Pharah plays. And that's kind of what I expect from these maps. So I expect the following bands to kind of keep up with that theme. The first match that we did today was actually started on King's Row. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that happens again just because it's such a fan favorite and just everyone kind of likes it. It's one of those ones that doesn't really get banned all that often.
Yeah, and we saw them just sort of dance around it. Temple of Anubis was one that was banned completely. It was never played in a previous match. We'll be seeing that on a premiere here later, either later tonight or tomorrow, where you saw it was Team 15 versus Team 2 play out their match, and you'll watch all the map bans there. Just going to be some edits in there because there were some extreme delays in that matchup right now. So both teams still going through the bans here. Unfortunately, they are doing it in whispers. So we're just going to be sort of getting all the information secondhand, and they'll be telling us exactly what they're going to be doing here, just so that they know. As you said, Kings Row is a popular map, but also is Lijiang Tower on Control. And sometimes people like to go Control to start off with, just to give an idea where you sort of sit against the team that you're playing. We've casted both of these teams, Pulse. So, Team 4 Slaughterhouse and Team 13 Trigger Happy. Both are excellent teams and have excellent players on both sides. What do you think of the matchup here between both of the teams?
Well, actually, I don't think I've casted Trigger Happy. I
Oh,
think that
okay.
was a week that I was out,
Mm-hmm.
but I casted Slaughterhouse. Might have been earlier this week even, and it was a solid team. There was nothing particular that stood out to me from their match, but it was one of those things where it wasn't a bad thing that nothing stood out because it was just working.
Yeah, yeah, and and here Irate Observe, AP Flower Child, Vesper X, very, very quality players as we saw in earlier this week. With Trigger Happy though, Brad was a little late to the scrim that we actually casted with them, but he is a monster on that Zarya. So, but with some of the changes that have been coming in into Overwatch here lately, I don't know exactly if they'll stay to that sort of 3-3 comp, or they might play some variations, but definitely going to be on the watch right there for Team Trigger Happy. So both teams winning their opening matchup in the playoffs here, and now in the semifinals. The winner of this match, let's take a look at the bracket here real quick. So the winner of this match will go to the grand final that will be played on Sunday. And they will play the winner of the matchup of Team 15 and Team 14 for those interested in seeing who the teams will match up against. So it looks like they've just finished with the bands, and they left Volskaya Industries. So it is Volskaya Industries that will be the first map up. It looks like there's going to be a bit the team names are going to have to be edited. So Pulse, you're going to be needed to switch up ownership
Yeah,
back to not
actually, well,
real. So they're going to fix up the names here. So we're just doing some final matchups here. So as the bans go, we'll just give you a little bit of a preview of what ended up getting banned. So Kings Row, Eichenwald, Dorado, and we are left with Volskaya Industries. So that is going to be the map that we are going to start off with, and a very unusual map to start off with. And a lot of the times, 2CP, not necessarily a map that people really sort of favor. Oops.
yeah, and honestly, Volskaya is one that's a little bit weird. I am tempted to think they're doing this because we saw a lot of Vesper X on Sombra,
Mm-hmm.
and Volskaya is a map that's heavily favored towards Sombra, and I'm assuming Anubis got banned because very few people like Anubis. But both Volskaya and Anubis are very favored towards Sombra, and they just ran so much of it. One of the key things that I do recall from the game was that they weren't very aggressive with Sombra, but they were patient in setting things up. And I mean, if their goal is to just sort of wait it out, get packs, and use that Sombra on a map that she's good at, this is a perfect map to do that.
No, absolutely right. So we head into Volskaya Industries. Both teams are ready to go. This is a best of 5 for anybody that is going to be interested in knowing what the rule matchups are. Remember, we're playing with a slightly different rule set. It is going to be map bans here from the team. So they will be able to eliminate maps from the pool temporarily for the pick, and then everyone here will then pick the map. So the way that it's going to work, so the losing team on this map will then get to pick the next map, but the winning team gets to ban one map before they get to pick. So therefore, they can sort of figure out and sort of guide them in a direction of what they really do not want to play. But team, let's say Trigger Happy ends up winning this map, Slaughterhouse will then get to pick what remaining maps there are available. So both teams here are going to get set up on the defense here. Bunker setups, very popular now on Volskaya Industries, and it will be Team Trigger Happy, Team 13, will be in on offense first, and we will be watching the setup here of the defense, which will be Team 4 Slaughterhouse. Slaughterhouse will set up closer to the doorway, it looks like. So they're not going to set up in the back, so they're going to be aggressive and set up by the door. What do you think of this this defense here set up with Irate Observe here on the Reinhardt here right at the front door?
This is a very standard hold for something around Kilo, and it looks like they sent out a scouting Sombra from the attack, which is a smart move, and they might make some changes here before they entirely push out. But Vesper X looks a little bit confused as they're sort of swapping things up and finally settling on classic Ana Goats. So they have good hack targets for Vesper X, but they also have just enough power to just steamroll through a Reinhardt if they want.
That's exactly right. And like it looks like Miko and Maru, they're getting a little late into the back as Kuchikopi, the tank here from Team 13, is going to take the low ground instead, as it looks like Brad has positioned himself onto the high. Lulz Ultra getting onto the point here, trying to see if he can mess with anybody. Vesper X gets taken down there by Miko, and Jeju, though, is able to get out Lulz Ultra, who's being a little aggressive there, so they lose one of the healers here on offense. But one kill for the offensive side here is going to be good, because it does take a long time for them to get back on point. Got to be careful here, but already a nano boost already on Irate Observe, who's able to take out 2 there with a giant fire strike, as it looks like it's just going to be Brad who's going to be remaining there onto the point. He might want to surrender and just sort of jump off the edge. Not going to be able to do so. But wow, Jeju there with a big ult there to keep Irate Observe up and for him to eliminate all the members here of the offense.
Yeah, had that nano not come through, that would have entirely been the attacker's point right there, because everything was going in their favor. They did lose Ultra very early, but we saw Slaughterhouse lose Vesper X really early, and in that case, you don't want that hack. So they had things going in their favor. Now they finally have their nano to counter this for their offensive push, and both Ryans are going to have a shatter, and they really need to keep an eye out for that tire coming through from Cocoa Dust, though, because that's the only thing that can throw a wrench in their plans right now.
Yeah, and Vesper X doing a pretty decent job of being a nuisance with that Sombra there. Lulz Ultra is going to get caught here with the Earth Shatter, as Irate Observe is going in a little deep. They're already going to use the Graviton here to see, because they see that the team is going to be caught in the corner. That didn't really actually do very much, except kill Irate Observe himself. They lose their main tank, so it is going to be problematic, as they're going to wrap around. Big grenade there, as Jeju is just coming up huge on that Ana. Tire coming out here. Where is it going to go? They're going to look for a high profit, high value target here. Kuchikopi, unfortunately, is not going to be able to get taken out there, as Brad doing what Brad does as he eliminates AP Flower Child. Kebab getting the nano boost here, trying to see if he can benefit from a large amount of energy. Kuchiko, unfortunately, not going to be able to eliminate players, but yes, he does now with a huge fire strike, taking out 2, and now the offense going to be able to finish off the remaining members here of Slaughterhouse. They're going to give up the point, but they use 3 minutes up, so good job here by Slaughterhouse on the defense, but they're going to be able to sort of move on. 4 minutes on the clock here. Remember, there's a reduction in time, and immediate spawns are available, so no more snowballing here from the offense, as they're going to be trying to see if they can take point A, with Miko sacrificing herself in order to get the mech back.
Yeah, there's not as easy to snowball right now, but with Slaughterhouse using everything except for the sound barrier on their defense, they're gonna have to play this pretty well if they don't want to lose on first fight, especially with a grab and a shatter coming up from the offense right now. The only thing that they can really hope for is to have a good sound barrier and hopefully get Coco Dust up to that tire.
Yeah, Kuchiko getting a lot of damage there. Is going to need some big healing. Going to be able to kill him. So big shatter comes in, takes the back, but Irate Observe with a great counter shatter there right into Kuchiko's face, and that's going to end that push right there. No main tank means no love here on the offense, as Brad's going to have to back up. All that energy is going to go to waste, as they're going to be able to hold here. 2:57 here on the clock. With the way the 2CP changes here, not going to be a lot of pushes going to be in. They're going to have to wait for Kuchiko to come back.
Kuchiko be putting down that shield to charge right after the shatter, kind of threw some wrench in their plans to open them up to a counter shatter from Irate Observer. And now they've wasted about a minute and a half just trying to set up for this push, but taking way too long to.
Yeah, here comes the Lucio ult to protect everybody caught into the Graviton, as a counter grab here will catch the remaining members here of the offensive. Charge comes in from Irate Observe, but a tire from Coco Dust during the charge there will eliminate any threat of this offense, as Rafino and Kuchikopi get taken out, as now it's just a matter of staggering the remaining members here of the offense. Miko's going to get demech. That's probably going to necessitate at least either a jump off the cliff or possibly a lot of firing here from the Baby D.Va, as everybody is trying to make their way back here, but with no D.Va in defense matrix, it's going to be problematic.
Yeah, and so far this offense have been very slow to reset on pushes. They've been wasting a lot of time not fighting and just getting stalled out at this choke trying to set it up for fights, and that's something that they absolutely need to fix if they want to complete this map and even if they want to win this series.
Yeah, Vesper Hex also has the EMP ready to go, so we're wondering when that's going to actually come into play. You notice how spread out the members here of Team 13 are. They're just really worried about getting EMP'd in a giant group, but now here they are coming in this narrow hallway, as they're going to have to come in. As we say that, there's the EMP, and there comes the shatter. Going to catch Miko here, as Kuchiko trying her best to try to make sure that they stay up. Not going to be able to do so. Tire coming in here from the Junkrat, but all of the members are pretty much dead already. He's going to catch Maru there into the back, as it looks like here the offense going to get stalled again. Kebab does a good number here on Miko, and we're down to 60 seconds here. Team 13 looking stalled here on the offense. They've got to be able to do something. Big ults here coming up from Kuchikopi and Maru, so hopefully maybe they'll be able to use that to maybe get a tick or two.
Yeah, that's their best bet right now. The tire coming through from Coco Dust was a little bit overzealous. They didn't really need it to win the fight, but they're setting up for having most likely five ults this final push, but they need to stay alive if they want to win this or get close to winning.
Graviton comes in, will catch the offense there on the border, but Irate Observe here is going to get nano boosted, so 2 nano Rhines here, but the loser of that battle was Irate Observe. Big grenade here coming in, hitting the front line, but it looks like the offense has finally stabilized itself, as they're trying to knock down all of the members here of Team 4. EMP comes out again, but there's nobody to capitalize on it. Vesper X is on the high ground, going to get eliminated by Brad's big laser, and here comes Irate Observe, going to get charged in there. Another Graviton here, but a bomb in the middle of that will force members to bail out. Overtime ticks up. Will anybody make it? Though it will be at full cap here from Team 13. They do a great job in getting the point, but they do so in overtime.
And it was eventually due to their ultimate economy that they were able to take that. They were able to push after, they were able to push on having a lot of ults after we saw Slaughterhouse overinvest a little bit in the previous fight, because they didn't have a tire, they didn't have anything to really stop them other than a grab to match Trigger Happy's grab. And in scenarios like that, it's bound to happen. So it's not like it's a big loss or anything from the side of Slaughterhouse. It's not like, oh, we lost points B. They did it in overtime. So if Slaughterhouse has a chance to cap this with over a minute on the clock, then that already sets them up for a draw at worst. And that should be their goal right now. They know what they're going to run. I have a pretty good idea of what they're run based on the games they're seeing. They're likely going to keep that Sombra. And when you have a Sombra, and when you have like a Sombra junk specifically, you should be able to win off of a EMP tire pretty much every single time, or EMP grab. There's so many combos you can do with it that will just open it up. And when you're waiting on just 2 ults like that, just build up your ults, help your team farm those ults that they need to win, and then just win with a time bank. It doesn't matter how slow you do it, just go for over a minute.
Yeah, and you see them come out. They're being very aggressive here. You see Kebab here on the Tracer, so possible 2-3-1 here on offense, just to see what is going on here. On defense here, we see the classic bunker comp that's going to set up here on the high ground corner. So Kuchikopi will be with Brad here, who will be on the Bastion to try to see if they can sort of stop this. It's got to be careful because with the way that this is being set up with the with both the Junkrat and the Sombra, there's going to be hacks and a lot of spam damage coming in on both sides. So Rafino here on the Junkrat on the other side here, also trying to see if they can get a good amount of spam damage in. And Kebab got picked. I think there was a little bit of confusion on which way they were going to go, and now they're stuck in no man's land. AP Flower Child is going to be sent back here to sort of ferry back that Zarya to see if they can get him all the way up onto the high ground. And as you see, not much movement by Vesper X, as doesn't want to sort of risk it, knowing that she could probably get staggered and get picked off going into a group of 6 there, Pulse.
Yeah, and that's a little bit risky as Sombra, because right now you need to be doing your best to build your way up to that EMP. That's the fight winning condition right now. If you can EMP them, then they have nothing to stop you. So you can be a little bit more aggressive, just use your translocate out early, but we don't see Vesper X being that aggressive on Sombra, both today and the last time we cast them. And that's something I'd like to see change a little bit.
Well, you notice what Miko's doing. She's literally firing right around in a giant circle to try to make sure that they catch Vesper X wherever Vesper X is. And now you look at the positioning of both teams. It looks like Irate Observe is now positioning himself behind the wall to try to see if they can move Vesper X onto the other side to do anything. What a grenade! That is a huge grenade that's going to catch everybody. That's going to force the Immortality field to come up. But in the meantime, though, they lose AP Flower Child and another member. It looks like they're going to have to sort of retreat here as Kebab and the rest of the members here of Team 4 are going to have to fall back. Miko's got to be careful. Doesn't want to lose the mech up there to Kebab's Zarya. But now the team is split here, Pulse. They're very problematic against this bunker comp. They're going to have to wait for their Rein to sort of come back.
And this is where communication is really important, and a scenario where if you have good communication, even if it's on a lower level team, you can be farming these ults and making sure that faster. But instead they're taking a while to set up on these pushes, and especially with Vesper X unable to farm at all for an EMP, it's really slowing down all of their aggressive progress.
Yeah, I mean, Miko's doing such a great job just being a real nuisance, just firing in random directions. Kebab somehow got into the backline behind the shield. Vesper X was able to take out Maru's Immortality field, but again, they're just unable to break this bunker comp here in the corner. And it looks like here you have Jeju just sort of trapped on the other side here. We're already down to 1:26 here. They've done a great job eliminating time here off the clock and just being very, very cognizant of Vesper X.
This is the fight that they need to win too, because Vesper finally, if they can get in and shoot it before anything else happens, then this should be a fight win. But you need to make sure your team's in position to follow up on it. And given the positioning of Rafino's traps every single time, Irate really needs to keep an eye for one of those, because he just keeps getting trapped and then shredded before his shield can do anything.
Well, his shield just got broken again there in the corner, so they're going to have to wait on a recharge here. In the meantime, they're going to send grenades down there, as Rafino's just not going to wait on any of that. And as all the damage is coming through, just so much spam damage that Irate Observe can't do what he wants to do. Rafino just, I think he's just waiting to pop that mine to just sort of send him out in the air. Brad finishes off AP Flower Child, and there's the mine trying to send Irate Observe into the middle of nowhere, and he sends him into the ground. 25 seconds left to go, and no Reinhardt here on the side of Team 4, so they need something to break this defense, but Brad says no! Takes Cocoa Dust and Jeju going down here. They've got the spam down. Vesper X has got the EMP, but just can't use anything with it. So here comes the Tire. They're going to just try to stall him out there in the back, as the Tire's going to go out and going to look for supports there, as they're just going to fire in. EMP will hit everybody on the top ground, as Vesper X is in the middle of all of that, but in the meantime, they've lost their main tank. That's not going to stop them from doing anything. Now here comes Brad's ult, and a bomb sent onto the point. Nano boost here onto Cocoa Dust. Can he do anything? He's the only one left from the team. He's going to try to get taken, he's going to get focused on and taken down here. And overtime ticks down, and a great bunker defense here as Team 13, Trigger Happy, takes a 1-0 lead over the Slaughterhouse.
Very good bunker composition, very good individual role understanding from Trigger Happy there. Like Miko was 24/7 on the Sombra spy check, and sometimes was a little bit focused a little too much on one area, so you just saw them firing in one spot, but knew that they had to do the spy checking, and it was enough to keep Vesper from doing really anything on Sombra. And it's one of those scenarios where you're running this comp, you're not finding any value, something has to switch going in, but I don't think they had the hero pools or the realization to do it fast enough.
Yeah. So problematic there. So we look at our map bands coming back up. So we're going to switch over here to the map screen. Just so it's a nice holding screen, as you get to see. Volskaya Industries is now going to be down, so that will be no longer a map that they will be able to pick. So Trigger Happy, they're getting the win on Volskaya Industries. A very, very must have been a very good pocket pick for them, as they seem to be ready with the defense on that. So they take a 1-0 lead here over Team 4 in the Slaughterhouse. Remember, it is the first 3. So team who gets 3 will go on to the grand final. Members of Trigger Happy looking very, very solid there on defense. Slaughterhouse just trying to see if they can get around. What could have they done differently on Volskaya there, Pulse? It seemed like they were sort of stuck going around and trying to wrap around and try and get to that high-level bunker. But by the time that they were getting up there, the shield from Irate Observe was just getting destroyed. Could they maybe have just sort of sat on the point and maybe wanted Trigger Happy to come to them?
Maybe being on point is very scary into a bunker, though, just because similar things would have happened as trying to contest them. Generally, I'd say use as much cover, get as close to Bastion as possible. But I do think one of the biggest problems, and we were kind of talking about this too after we saw Slaughterhouse play, was that we saw Slaughterhouse go away with a win last time. But one of the biggest takeaways was that they were very patient and not very playmakery. Like they didn't have the same sort of drive to go in and go for a big play. They just sort of waited for it to happen. And you really saw it there on their attack. Neither team really used an alt because the defense was waiting for offensive alts to counter them like you would do. But the offensive alts just never came through. And it's because they're able to burst them down. They weren't able to run forward. They weren't supporting each other correctly. So they were very hesitant on actually making a good push or going for plays. And even at the end, you saw Vesper X just sort of standing at a corner waiting for an EMP for 2 minutes on the clock and nothing really coming from it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Sometimes in these tournaments, you have to get aggressive, and you have to sort of be able to sort of force the action. And it seemed like it was just very, very hard for Team 4, the Slaughterhouse, to do so. But in the meantime here, as they've gone through the bans, it looks like it's going to be Oasis that they're going to pick. So Oasis is going to be the next map up here, as we're going to X that out. As we're going to just show you the playoff bracket here real quick, if you guys have not been familiar as to what has been going on, the playoffs are split into 2. There's split 1 and split 2, sort of like a higher and a lower bracket. And you see Team 4 and Team 13 here. This is match B1. B1 will be the match here, and the winner of this will go to the grand finals that will be played on Sunday against the winner of Team 15 and Team 14. On the other side, split 2, Team 5 and 10 and Team 6, and the winner of 17 and 11 will go into the grand finals of split 2. In the meantime here, we are going to take you into Oasis, as both teams here are ready to go. Oasis here, a very interesting pick. This is a first control map that we're going to see today. King of the Hill map that we're going to see today. And this is an interesting one because this is
also the first King of the Hill we saw pretty much all day too.
All day too, yeah. People have been trying to sort of avoiding it. So it's very interesting. But tell me about Oasis here, Pulse. This is one of those ones that it's not my favorite King of the Hill map, but it seems to me that Team 4, wanted to play this map, so this could be something that they were really looking forward to.
Well, for me personally, picking a King of the Hill map, and especially, seems to be a counter pick to Bunker, because Oasis is one of those maps that on University really favor goats, just straight up Ryan, Zarya, things of that nature. And then on the other 2 points, it's a little bit more free, but generally Bunker doesn't do so well on that. We saw some Orissas and some things like that first stage of Overwatch League, but that was basically in another lifetime at this point. I don't know if anyone has Bunker plans for this map.
Yeah, well, we're going to be following our Irate Observe here as they're going to try to figure out what they're going to want to do. They're running this sort of low comp with Vesper X here on the Sombra, so that means they're going to just go straight up to point. Well, the remaining members here of Trigger Happy are going to take the high ground, but they're just going to take the high ground here just basically for the sake of it, because the members of here Slaughterhouse just realized they're not going to be able to attack them with the pillar in the middle. So they're just going to sort of hang on there and wait for Trigger Happy to come down, and they're going to attack him down in. Miko getting hacked here as we're watching Irate Observe trying to make sure that he's sort of being able to sort of do whatever he wants to do here on the other side. He's finally going to get attacked as Kebab is going to be able to get D-Mech Miko, but down goes Kuchiko and Rafino, and that means it's an early take here for Slaughterhouse. It looks like they know this map pretty well, and they knew exactly what to do against this comp from Trigger Happy.
And they also set up a very good crossfire. They had Vesper X flank almost all the way to just shooting from the front. And now that they're entrenched on this point, Oasis City Center in particular is one that you don't see a lot of flips on unless it's at 99%. So that sets them up for potentially an early win on Oasis, which is exactly what you want when you're down one.
Exactly, and where Coco Dust is positioned, he's just going to be able to sort of spam to his heart's content, and nobody's going to be able to get him here, so they've got to be super careful. Brad there getting the benefit of a negative grenade there. He's going to turn purple. The Ana here from Slaughterhouse has just done great. Jeju has been absolutely fantastic. Big shatter there as Kebab came in on the charge as he was nano boosted, and that's going to eliminate the members here of Trigger Happy as they're coming in. Bomb was going to get set in. Will that take anybody out? No. We've got a nano boosted Miko here in the D.Va trying to see if he can get into the backline, trying to take anybody out. Bomb here into the backline trying to see if they can eliminate anybody. Nobody's going to go down to that. Members here of Team 4 Slaughterhouse are trying to sort of survive here on the point as they're coming back. Irate Observe is finally back here, and the fight will continue here in City Center Point. Brad is wrapped around, and he's in the middle of 4 people trying his best, combined with the EMP there, as it looks like everybody from Trigger Happy was EMP'd. So that's going to be a little bit of temporary, as Ultra is going to have the ult. He's going to not necessarily need to use it here, as it looks like they're going to end up winning the fight, as Trigger Happy here are going to be able to eliminate Flower Child and Irate Observe. They just got to get rid of Jeju here, who's just been very, very sneaky, doing really well on the Ana. Finally gets slept here by Maru and killed. A little teabag action, or should I say tactical crouching there by the opposing Ana.
Yeah, but that stall got them all the way from 48% to 92, which sets them up. If they can win one more match, Slaughterhouse can win one more, then they have this map, because there's no possible chance for a retake. Especially with a tire coming up from Coco Dust and only a few to counter it. If that tire gets in there, then there's no way to stop it.
Exactly, and you know, Vesper X can just be a little patient here, and you said that they're sometimes a little bit overly patient. This is one of those times they can afford to be, but they don't need to, because Coco Dust's tire does what you said it was probably going to do, takes 2 out as the bomb gets sent into the air. Irate Observe, great shield there, but not going to be able to protect from Brad, who's on the ground trying to eliminate people. No main tank here for the side of Slaughterhouse, so they're going to have to wait a little bit. Miko got grenaded and is going to have to sort of fall back, make sure that she can get a little bit of healing. Kebab here chasing Brad down into the back line, trying to be as aggressive as possible, but Kebab's going to get D-Mech here. Kuchiko trying to get in with the Earth Shatter, is going to be able to get Flower Child, charges in, not going to be able to be saved here, and Irate Observe has no team to attack with. They're already at 60% here. Trigger Happy has done a great job holding this point.
And especially with, after they lost Irate Observer so early in that last fight, it stalled out their push, and also they didn't have the target selection they needed to finish it out. Bob went straight for Brad, which is a good idea to get the Zarya out of the fight, but not if you're a D.Va. Because that just more or less gave Brad another ult to come up into this next fight.
Well, they've got the EMP ready, so Vesper X here going to try to catch 6 people. Here comes the bomb and the EMP combo. Unbelievable bomb there by Kebab. He gets 5, and down goes all of the members of Trigger Happy. What a combo there, Pulse. Timed it with the EMP. I think they just won this map.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no coming back from EMP 4K. Like
4.5K. Yeah.
Absolutely perfectly. Good bomb placement, good EMP, because by the time the bomb was about to land, they were all looking like they were about to get covered, and surprise, EMP.
Surprise, EMP. That was the thing that I remember about Slaughterhouse, is that their combos were absolutely on point. Trigger Happy has to be careful about them because they are this sort of cold, calculating team. they were planning combos like that out, and they were just waiting for Vesper X's EMP to sort of come out. But that was perfectly positioned and timed where they saw that opening and were just able to just sort of blow that bomb. You'll see that in a replay because that will probably be, unless there's another big bomb like that, up the play of the map here on Oasis. So now we're going into Gardens, Pulse, and it looks like not very many changes from either side. We're following Trigger Happy here, and it looks like they're still going with the standard 3-3, and Vesper X and Kokoda still on that Sombra and Junkrat respectively, as it looks like the members of Trigger Happy are going to go for the high ground here.
And this more or less is how they set for City Center too. It gives them the opportunity to drop down where they want. Also gets Maru in a good position to be safe from the rest of Slaughterhouse in this attack.
Yeah, so it looks like here they're just going to be patient, wait for the point to unlock before they come down. Well, the point's unlocking now, so somebody's got to be able to touch them. They drop down finally here. First kill here is going to be super important as Kuchiko comes in with the charge and just deletes Irate Observe with that charge, as Kuchiko is able to get aggressive, maybe a little too aggressive, as she goes down to Kokodust to spam. Got to remember there's a Junkrat on the other side, so a lot of damage here. Brad is going to be looking to finish off the rest of the members, though. AP Flower Child getting the benefit, the negative benefit of that grenade there. Good job by Maru catching the members there, and now it looks like here Miko getting a benefit of a nano boost, but they're going to have to sort of fall back as there was a really big split spawn as they were fighting the point, and two of the members still have to come back here for Slaughterhouse.
A little bit overzealous nano boost, but again, they have a grab coming up, so that's all they can really ask for in this fight. They have a grab, they have a Diva Bomb, they have a sound barrier in case things go wrong, which is arguably the more important one, especially when fighting into a Junkrat. We'll see how this plays out with that first bomb coming out early.
Yeah, there was no EMP to team up with that bomb, as Vesper is just at 89%. So they'll probably team up Kokodust's Tire with the next EMP here, so they're just going to try to hold this point. Miko gets Kebab out of the mech, so that's going to be super important. Irate Observe here getting nano boosted, but he's really low and does not get the benefit of the healing, so they're going to try to see if they can force anything out. Their EMP actually went off there into the back as Brad is able to use the Graviton here to catch members here, but a great Lucio ult here to sort of protect them, but this fight is going the way of Slaughterhouse as Kuchiko actually gets eliminated here, as looks like Rufino here on the Brigitte trying to rally, make sure that the team stays up, but Lulz Ultra getting trapped and killed there by Kebab, and finally they're going to finish off Miko here, who is in the mech, going to get D-Mech taken out, and probably 70% is as high as they're going to be able to get it. That's it, and now we've got to switch as Slaughterhouse now take control here of Garden Point.
70% is not too shabby for Gardens. It's a little bit easier to retake. It's going to be a little bit hard playing into this EMP Tire Bomb coming up, and also another Shatter from Irate. Irate has been building absurdly fast, and Kuchiko looks like he wanted to get in, gets hacked, but Vesper X gets caught out before his team can do anything.
Yeah, that's big because they wanted to get that EMP in for the next fight here. Bomb gets upset up into the air, not going to be able to take anybody out, and we got two nano boosted Ryans here swinging away. Irate though got grenaded, so the Kuchiko is going to have the real advantage here, but as the bomb goes off on the point, Miko is able to catch Kokodust, but Kokodust gets Miko before she could re-mech. Oh no, here comes Brad trying to be the hero here as he eliminates the Diva out of the mech, so Kebab here mechless, but it's going to be Brad and Lulz Ultra by himself. They realize this fight is not going to go their way. Too many people here on the defense, so they're going to have to back up here, but they do have a little bit of an advantage as they come in with Kuchiko, and a Graviton will catch Irate Observe. They're going to be able to eliminate the Reinhardt here relatively quickly if they're able to do so, but an EMP here will catch the members of the team, but they do get Irate Observe off of the field, but they do lose Miko in the process. That's going to be huge. Brad's going to have to come up big here. They had to nano boost Kebab to make sure that he stayed alive, as Brad was trying to see if they can get the Diva out of the mech. They still are able to get the Diva out of the mech. He's going to use the bomb to do so. Kebab gets two as Lulz Ultra and Miko unable to survive that bomb from Kebab. They've already gone past the 70% mark and go approaching the mid-80s here as Trigger Happy unable to sort of find a place to get back and use a really solid 6v6 here. Big shatter coming in from Kuchiko as they're going to try to sort of come in. There, down goes Irate Observe, and here comes the trade. Nano boosted Rufino here, trying to see if they can eliminate Flower Child and Kebab. Brad is going to start to glow here in a second as he's got a lot of energy. Tire comes out here, will get Rufino and Kuchiko, but that's not going to be enough. They're going to try to eliminate Vesper X as quick as possible and get Kokodust here. They're at 99. I think the members of Slaughterhouse are going to back up and just need to win one fight.
That is one fight territory there at 90-9. If Slaughterhouse can at any point turn it over, things are going to look very scary for Trigger Happy. Trigger Happy does have this Zarya ult coming online, which is absolutely has to be their savior if they want to win this map, though.
They absolutely. Brad has to come up huge. And now it's going to be last fight saloon time here for the members of Trigger Happy. They have to win this fight, and they catch the grab. They will get everybody in the middle. Charge comes in from Kuchko. As a bomb comes in, they need to eliminate the shield if they can. They get Flower Child, and they're getting the kills that they need. EMP is too late. Vesper gets everyone, but they're not going to be able to eliminate too many people. Coco Dust here trying to see if they can get the Zarya. Not going to be able to do so as Coco Dust gets taken down. Overtime's going to tick down. Last second chance here. Can they get any of the members here? Vesper's going to be able to sort of be sure to be able to stall. Look at the stalls coming in from the Sombra here, but a good shatter from Kuchiko and a counter shatter by the Raid Observe, but kills here too much and too many here coming in from the side of Trigger Happy. Nano boosted Irate Observe here trying to do his best to get that the grenaded front line here of Team 13, but they're not going to be able to do so. They don't get back in point in time, and we are tied at onesies.
At onesies.
Score.
Perfect. Beautiful.
1-1.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
I know, right? It's 1-1 here for Trigger Happy and Slaughterhouse. Trigger Happy able to turn that fight around as Slaughterhouse just unable to seal the deal and take Oasis here as we go to University as the final map. This is a very tank-friendly map, but also very friendly to the Sombra again. But looks like Vesper X going to change maybe a little bit of strategy going to the Mei. What do you think about that, Pulse?
I think this is the other comp that we saw them run.
Yeah.
I fully expect it to come through. Mei does throw a lot of kinks into 3-3 compositions. You want to push in, if you can wall off people correctly, and it turns a 6v6 into a 6v3 and like a couple 3 stragglers on the way. So you're going to have to rely entirely on these walls from Vesper X if they want this to work.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Vesper X, though, getting grenaded right away. They realize what the threat is, and they know that there's a Mei on the field, so they're trapped in this little tiny room, not going to be able to do very much. Another grenade gets sent in. Point unlocks here, but basically the fight has basically gone into that section. They're trying to see if they can get the Mei. Big shatter already from Irate Observe, trying to see if they can get anybody down. Miko getting really, really low here as a nano-boosted Brigitte here is going to be sent into the backline to see if they can do anything. What a sleep there by Jeju onto the nano Brigitte there into the back. Tire comes in from Coco Dust, will eliminate Maru here, and now it looks like Slaughterhouse are going to end up clearing out this fight. Oh, Brad, there's a wall behind you and a charging Reinhardt in front of you.
That's very similar to the Rock and Hard Place. I might actually have to adopt that one.
So it looks like here's
close it out based on that wall, though. And again, those walls are going to be the bane of Trigger Happy if they want to get through this.
Yeah, I mean, Vesper's already almost at the ult here, at the ult percentage, and oh, it looks like, Coco Dust sort of fell down. They were able to catch Coco Dust underneath. They didn't realize that the entire team was going the other way. Coco Dust is running for his life, but in doing so, lets on to the strategy of what Trigger Happy was doing. Like, that might have been a fortuitous accident, but Vesper goes down with the, and unfortunately, the ult was used, but it's not going to be able to be, I think it might have been eaten there by Miko. I didn't actually see it there, Pulse. And now it looks like a bomb here is going to clear off the point as the members of Trigger Happy here are going to try to sort of clear out Coco Dust here all by his lonesome. He's going to run into pretty much all 6 members here of Trigger Happy. Jeju here by himself in the corner. They're going to try to eliminate that Ana as quick as possible, but good stall here as Irate Observe now onto the point. As the Mei now onto the point, they realize it's all about percentage at this point. Vesper X not going to be able to stall as long as they can. Now they start to back up 60%, 66%. Very, very good here, but we've seen this story before.
Kabam is getting some energy, but gets sleeping and thankfully woken up and is able to rejoin with. But now this is going to be kind of hard because it's much harder to attack with a Mei into a goat team than it is to defend with one. They still have things going their way. They have a tire that's coming up with no real response, but if Brad just eats this grab and gets it, then I don't know what they can do about that.
Yeah, that was a great defensive wall there by Vesper when they got caught in the grab. All right, Irate Observe getting nano boosted, catches Rafino onto that charge, but Vesper goes down. Vesper is super important for them to keep the advantage, but Coco Dust with a big kill on the opposing Rein here, and now they have the advantage as it looks like a bomb is going to get sent into the back here, and that's going to be defended upon, and now it's stall time. I think it's just going to be a matter of how much percentage they can hold. Miko gets back into the mech, and now it looks like Maru's going to try to survive as best as she can. Not going to be able to do anything. Can Miko eliminate anybody here? Not going to be able to do so. The wall's going to block out any reinforcements from coming in, and it's fairly even, 56% here for Trigger Happy, as they're going to have to gather in. It's been back and forth here, Pulse. It's been relatively good. Both teams have strategies for each other's side.
But this is final fight territory coming up, because 80% already, they're just touching point. If anyone dies from the side of Trigger Happy, then they won't be able to take another fight.
Yo, another Graviton here will catch the members of Trigger Happy here, but they were protected relatively. But trades coming back and forth. Here comes the big Mei ult. They were looking for this, so gotta be careful. Rafino gets caught in the ice. Not going to be able to protect Miko, so Miko's going to get demech. We are in last fight territory here. Irate Observe going to be just swinging away. Rafino's the only person left on point. Eats a fire strike to the face. Irate Observe just being able to be aggressive as possible. Maru and Lulz Ultra here onto the point, trying to survive as best they can. No other wall will come up, and they're just trying to isolate at this point. Ooh, sleeping Kuchiko, and unfortunately will get knocked back into the corner. This is going to be it. Brad here on the Tracer, trying to survive as best as he can. Miko here back onto the point on that D.Va, but they're just stalling at this point. Here comes the Doomfist, and trying to see if he can get a kill or two. Not going to be able to do so. Man, unreal. Slaughterhouse will take the map and tie this match up at 1. And a message here from Not Real as the coach watching these fights. Super, super stressful, Pulse. I think we're in the same boat there.
Yeah, definitely very stressful. Like, these fights have been absolute brawls and been going on for 30-40% from the time they hit point to the time the fight's over, which is nuts. Normally there's like a little bit of time setup involved, but from including time with setup to the actual fight times, like these teams are only getting really like 3, maybe 4 fights in per map on King of the Hill, which is nuts, because normally you should be able to get a lot in. These have just been absurdly long brawls.
They really, really have. And that's the thing, right? Like, you can tell that these two teams deserve to be in this section of the Scrub Cup, because both of them are just taking, like, punch after punch. There's a big, big sort of roundhouse by Slaughterhouse, and then Trigger Happy comes back with a big uppercut to the head of their team, and the fights have just been back and forth. And these map picks are going to be super important, because it's one of those things in which, leading up to the Scrub Cup, we were playing dedicated maps so that teams would sort of have to play what they needed to play. But at this point of the stage, both teams know what they're good at and what they're not good at. And it's going to basically come into play as to, there's going to be an overlapping map that both teams are going to be good at, and that is going to sort of define who wins this game. So as we go into the map pool, you'll see that Oasis and Volskaya Industries here have both been eliminated. You see what's left here: Temple of Anubis, Lijiang, King's Row, Eichenwald, 66, and Dorado. I mean, we all know that everybody's favorite map, King's Row, is probably going to come up at some point here during this match. But you see the comps between the two teams. What do you think which map sort of favors what each other team is sort of playing here, Pulse?
I don't entirely know how to answer that. And it's I think part of the reason is Slaughterhouse is very static and very consistent with what they pick. Like Vesper is going to be on Mei or Sombra. I don't think I've seen Vesper on anything else yet. Kogodust has pretty much only run Rein and Soldier and Junkrat.
Yeah.
And then they've sort of been stuck with Lucio, Ana, Ryan, Zarya pretty much the entire other time, with occasional D.Va thrown in. So I think you can fully expect what Slaughterhouse is running with. Trigger Happy seems to favor goats, favor variants. They've been a little bit more experimental, though. They had that really good bunker. They knew what to do. They held it very well, and Slaughterhouse did not have an answer to it at all on Volskaya. They ran goats, they've run Sombra, goats on attack, so they've shown us a lot more. And I think a map that favors flexibility, or if they can pick one that doesn't really favor Sombra or May, then
Hmm.
I don't know if Slaughterhouse will have an answer to it.
Well, it looks like Kuchiko here is going to pick a map, and the map that they're going to pick is going to be Dorado. So how does this play? Dorado is going to be the map that they're going to end up picking here. So the big old X goes on top of Dorado, and this was a map pick here from Trigger Happy. So maybe they feel like this is going to be a map. This is going to be a map that they are going to want to play. This is potentially a problematic Sombra map, but I don't see May being played on Dorado very often.
Yeah, I would expect uh, Sombra a little bit more, especially on like point one, maybe May point three, or maybe if you want to run something like there are a couple May strats like right at the beginning, point A.
Yeah, it's for a full, it's like
Um,
for a full hold, right? Like
yeah,
the
where
yeah,
it's like if you do like a goats May thing, you can actually hold in that first building to the left. And it looks like we're about ready to queue, and I just want to check that the sides are right, but it looks like they are. Slaughterhouse starting on defense first.
yep. So yeah,
Perfect.
Pulse here doing double duty as being the lobby attendant, as he will be in charge of pauses. So they wanted a third party to make sure that pauses were actually going to be done correctly. So if you are not familiar with the pause rules, let me talk to you about the pause rules while we're doing the assembly phase here. So in the middle of fights, if there happens to be a disconnect, the fight has to end before a pause can actually happen. And we've seen a lot during the tournament where pauses have actually occurred in the middle of team fights, which is not supposed to happen. So a lot of the times the coaches or the lobby attendant has forgotten that, like, when somebody calls for pause in the chat, they have to wait and assess the situation before they can actually do it. So by having a third party, us, your casters, do the pausing, it makes sure that when they get mad at us and not either opposing coach. So we try to be as neutral as possible here. So that's a little bit explanation there with regards to why Pulse is the pause attendant here in this match. So Trigger Happy now will be on offense first. They will be in red here as we're going to look at the setup. There's an extended setup here because there is a long walk to get to point A defense. From point A to point A start, because you usually start on the high ground here, as we will have 11 seconds here left to go, so I will bring it in. And it looks like they're just sort of setting up onto the high ground. Standard defense here coming up from Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, this is very close to what I expect from them. They are running May throughout probably most of Dorado, but we see an interesting attack strategy come out. They are running on a goat the way underneath and setting up for an attack on high ground while they're completely abandoning cart. Normally, Lucio or Diva there at least get some distance.
Yeah, but in the meantime here, they're able to eliminate Kokodust and as Kabab along with it. So they've just gone all in to just eliminate this defense to make sure that they just get enough space for themselves. This all-in strategy is worked out for them because I really don't think that they were ready, as Kuchikopi is able to eliminate the members, and Brad, with a lot of energy, is just going to just charge on in and YOLO right into the background here and just going to buy his team a lot of space as they move the payload here. As they've dedicated the one man onto the payload, they've actually just changed the whole direction of the fight. This had to have been planned because they must have been practicing this sort of specific strategy to make sure that they give themselves a good arena, a good area here to fight. Kuchiko gets caught by the wall here, so in the meantime, as they're dying, the payload is approaching the sort of underneath area here, and that's going to get locked off as Brad is going to have to run. They've pretty much gotten themselves into pretty much the same area here as if they were to fight them on the high ground, so not that much of an advantage here. I think they wanted the payload closer into the square, as it looks like Slaughterhouse here has taken advantage of this fight and now have trapped Trigger Happy here behind the payload in the archway.
Yeah, so they went for a ballsy play. It ended up working out, but not getting distance from it. I think it's because they actually won too clean of a team fight. Funnily enough, now they're fighting into a blizzard, fighting into a shatter, and this is absolutely a lost fight for 5 unless some major happens. And it looks like a grab from Brad is going to be a pretty major event because they're able to run it back after 4 or 5 ults are blown in entirety, and they're going to cap point A off of that.
Yeah, that is unbelievable here by Trigger Happy, as they were able to survive that, all of that, and they're just going to be able to go through and just take point A the way they did. 2 fights is literally what it took. So they really just sort of caught Slaughterhouse there over on the side, and now Slaughterhouse already set up in their defense here right by the bridge area, as they're just going to allow the members of Trigger Happy to sort of just come on in through the doorway. It usually takes about a second or two, and you can sort of catch a team down in the low area. But a bomb going to be coming in. Big shatter combo. Great combo there. Miko again with a big bomb here. And now Coco Dust and Jeju here are going to have to run. Excellent bomb shatter combo there by the members of Trigger Happy. Absolutely fantastic.
Brad is able to get out after getting slept because they wake up the sleeping Zarya. Can't do that. You gotta get your Ryan or something to charge it. But they're gonna get this payload all the way past the final choke of B and into this courtyard before this last fight comes up. And with Vesper switching to Sombra and being forced to translocate early in this fight, things are looking good for Trigger Happy so far.
Yeah, exactly. So you see Vesper's positioning here on the high ground, just trying to see if she can be a nuisance here onto the lower members here. Kuchiko's got to be careful, and a Graviton again will catch the members. They'll catch them onto the point, so you'll get movement onto this point. As a tire comes in, we'll catch Brad and Maru, and that is going to end this push here from the offense, as Team 13 here are going to go back to spawn. But look at where the payload is and how much time is left on the clock. That is good movement there, Pulse. So now they're just trying to see if they can gather back up and get one more push in. They also have a bit of an ult advantage because you see all of the members here in the high 70s already getting up. So by the time they'll get to the point, they might have 3 or 4 ults ready.
The only thing that they really need to worry about is a shatter coming through from Irate and a sound barrier from AP Slaughterchild. But sound barrier is one of those ults that can't make plays with it as easily. So as long as they can play around it, maybe shatter him first, and then that opens up a fight for them.
Oh, big shatter there by Kuchiko. We'll catch 5 with it. We'll get 1 on the elimination, but now the rest of the members here of Slaughterhouse go down. Now they just got to make sure they clear their baffles, and it is on. They're on to point 3, 3:43 on the clock here. Massive amounts of time. Uh-oh, Irate got a bad spawn. He's going to get caught out here. They're going to try to see if they can make sure they eliminate him. Oh, good bubble there, but just not enough, as Brad being very, very aggressive, trying to make sure that they make as much space as possible. Great aggressive play here by Trigger Happy. They've been thoroughly coached here on this map. They know how to play this right, and then it's not going to be a matter. They know that there's no Rhine up, so they have the luxury here to be aggressive until Irate can come back, and finally Irate is here, but that payload is already under the bridge.
An EMP coming through from Vesper, taking out Kuchiko and Jeju getting Pino right away. This fight's all but over for Slaughterhouse, or for Trigger Happy.
Yeah, Trigger Happy goes down.
Worse.
Yeah.
They overinvested a little bit with the Coco Dust tire, but they still won it very decisively. And now fighting into this last point, 2.5 minutes. It's a good time bank for for Trigger Happy by all means, but now you're going to have to be fighting into EMPs, tires, also shatters, which into point C of Dorado is a little tough. You're definitely going to have to time it and play and counter these ults with them in mind.
They have a narrow opening here coming into this fight because Vesper's still really far away from the EMP, so they can afford to be aggressive here. Graviton from Brad will come out. We'll catch Irate here, but that's going to take anybody else. Oh my goodness, what a shatter! And a counter shatter comes in, will eliminate 2, so that's going to get Vesper and Irate there, so your big main threats are gone. So now Kuchiko will guard the door. Just make sure you put the shield up. Just not allow anybody to come in. That Graviton maybe not in the greatest of spots because he's going to act as a block. Rafino takes down 2, and they're going to finish out this map. Trigger Happy look very, very good there on Dorado.
And that was a perfect way to call and respond to enemies. They came in, they knew what they had to look for, and were able to play with what they had in perfect harmony, really, to what the defense was holding on to. So they knew they had the shatter. As soon as the shatter came out, they counter shattered, and they just had a response to every single action that Slaughterhouse performed, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So Trigger Happy here, look at the time bank. That is impressive. A 155 time bank.
Scary for Dorado.
Yeah, that is huge. This is a map where teams struggle to complete, but you have Trigger Happy here with 155 in the time bank for this map, and that is fantastic. So you'll have Slaughterhouse here going to come in on the offense, and they're gonna have to set up something maybe a little different. I see what they're coming out with originally, but on defense here, oh, Trigger Happy going to be coming out with that bunker defense. We saw this on Volskaya, and
This absolutely has to be why they picked Dorado too.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. This
the map pool, both Dorado, Anubis, like those maps are the ones that if you can run bunker, you know how to run it,
Yeah.
because it makes it hell for the other team to attack.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? There are multiple high ground locations on all 3 sections where you can, like, you know, even if a bunker fails on point A, you can still bunker up in B and C, which makes it just so problematic. So they're going to
Especially if you know that the other team isn't going. More or less, we've seen Slaughterhouse locked into this composition with very minimal changes. So we do see Vesper opting to play Zen in the triple support, which is a little bit confusing, but if they can use that Discord to help burst someone down, then use it.
No, absolutely. So that I think just a little bit of a strategy change here, and realizing now that they're going into a bunker is going to be somewhat problematic. They need to make sure that they're able to sort of stop this payload, at least right in front of that Bastion, to make sure that they take at least a decent amount of damage. So here they come. They slop it right in the doorway of the arch, as Brad here is just going to have free reign to just shoot anybody that he can. You see the immortality field sort of dropped right onto the payload. Irate there and just in the middle of nowhere. He's going to get taken down finally here by Rafino, but not before they take Miko down. And a little bit of tactical crouching here from Rafino. Maybe a little bit of revenge here on Irate, as they're going to try at this again, and this approach is going to suck for Slaughterhouse, as they're going to have to find a way to get through this bunker defense.
Yeah, Kabab almost falling from that halt into a Bastion combo around the corner. Thankfully lives, but right now, Slaughterhouse is just completely stalled out. They're unable to build, just very similar to how it played out on Volskaya, whereas the defense isn't going to blow anything unless you make them right now.
Yeah, and they're trying to see if they can bait them to get them going backwards there, and they lose Coco and Irate, and this push is done. So they might be trying to sort of squeeze out the payload through the archway here, but that's not going to be able to do so. They lost their main tank here, and now it's just pretty much a shooting gallery into the bottom area here. Rafino's trapped with Kabab, as Kabab will get the better of him, but not before he eliminates Vesper. Oh, and a bomb has to be used here in order to eliminate eliminate Kabab here, as the D.Va lost the mech. Kabab is by himself. So now they've just got to be careful. In the meantime, while they've been sort of dilly-dallying in the back, it's Coco and Observe moving the payload here a little bit, and now they're in the square, and they lose their high ground advantage. Immortality field coming down here from Maru will keep Miko alive, and immediately they get rid of it. Here comes Brad ulting and taking out Vesper X here, trying to be as aggressive as possible. Tyre going to be able to take down both Irate and Coco Dust, and now a repositioning of the bunker is going to be absolutely necessary, as they're going to have to move onto the high ground. 1:30 here left onto the clock. The payload already into the square here. So, Pulse, what's going on here? What are they going to have to be able to do?
Honestly, they just need to approach with as least cover, with the most cover as possible. But target selection has been a little bit off in these brawly fights. They were almost able to cap point A on a fluke, and they're approaching relatively correctly. But at this point, it's just target selection and making sure you're backing each other up at this point. Vesper's way out of position and won't even be able to contribute to this fight unless they're able to regroup. But the bunker itself kind of looks a little bit confused on where to be setting up right now.
Yeah, and I think that was a little bit of a bait there. They wanted to make sure that they get something associated to that, but Brad again takes down 2. As the charge comes in, you've got a Nano Irate Observe here. Is going to be able to sort of make sure that he gets rid of that Bastion, but they've killed a lot of time here. And now it's just Kuchiko here, unfortunately, will get slept and killed. They'll take point A, but it'll be with 30 seconds left. So they've done their job. They've actually killed as much time as possible, and they now just really want to make sure that they sort of hold them here through the second Streets phase.
Bunker's a little bit weaker on this whole section by the courtyard on Streets phase, just because high ground doesn't give good like firing positions for Bastion. You can use it, and there's things that you can do to make it work. But as it's going into this final section, right before the entrance to the power plant, that's where Bastion's really going to be scary to fight into. But
Yeah.
until then, they're going to have a hard time contesting this cart.
Yeah, and it looks like here they weren't able to sort of set up the way they wanted. As Kuchiko has gone to the Rhine here, and we've got nanoed Bastion again, and immediately a Lucio ult has popped out just to make sure that the Bastion ult is going to be as nullified as best as they can. A bomb gets sent in here, and that's going to take out AP Flower Child. That Baptiste Immortality Field coming in really, really handy. Brad finishing off Jeju there in the back, and now 158 here on the clock, and a res coming in here onto Rufino, meaning all 6 defenders are going to be up, and they're going to be coming in to a very, very tough defense here.
And Brad's still sticking on that Bastion. They have everything more or less set up at the moment, and they finally have the Bastion up on high ground. So with this final push, it looks like we're getting close to 1, maybe 2 fight territory, depending on how long this fight lasts. Slaughterhouse takes to set up, but they're opting to go all the way high ground, which is honestly what they have to do if they're going to stick on these heroes.
Yeah, they absolutely have to do so. They have to be very, very aggressive on how they do. Here comes the window here, and Irate Observe got melted. There was just nothing that he could do about it. Immortality Field up, and Payload is not anywhere close to being finished. Looks big ult there from Coco Dust is going to get the support, but will that be able to move them in time? Brad is still alive, and that is going to be the main person that you have to worry about. Finally gets taken down here by Vesper X, who has had to flank to find angles there onto Brad. Miko's going to get demeched, but there's going to be another fight here from the defense. So because that Payload got backed up all the way back to the first corner, and now here come the members here. Kebab got grenaded and got taken out, so they lose their Zarya. So they're going to have to fly 6v5 here once the members of the defense are going to be able to sort of come up and settle in. Payload slowly moving, slowly but surely. And now here it comes. Brad is switched over to the Zarya here. Not going to be able to play the Bastion here, but they've got to be careful. Payload's going to clear if nobody touches it. Finally, Miko gets onto the Payload here. And now Irate Observe focusing on Maru, taking down the Ana. 18 seconds left to go. It looks like this is going to be a fight win for Slaughterhouse, but they're going to move into the toughest section of the map here, as Section 3 here, as it's just going to be a matter of cleanup before they cap this point.
That's a little bit unfortunate. They cap point before getting into overtime. Brad leaves cart. Everyone abandons him. So they're going to have a little bit of chance to set up or regroup because you can't fight this without the Zarya. But they have so many ults online right now for the defense. It's going to be hard to break this, let alone complete the map.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's just multiple tough locations too. Under that bridge is where a lot of teams get stuck. And that is exactly where Kuchiko and team are actually setting up. Brad is just playing that corner really, really hard. Rufino here getting a little aggressive. Got to be super careful. Remember, they just need to stop them in order to win this map. Big grenade here, but a big counter shatter. Unfortunately, Kuchiko got taken out. The bomb was late on that shatter, but they're still going to be able to move him on in. But this is not good here for Trigger Happy as they're trying to see whether or not they can still stay up. 40 seconds left to go, and there's a huge ult advantage here from the offense in Slaughterhouse. Slaughterhouse trying to just sort of power it through, and now they're going to move in onto the point. They're going to be able to finish here unless Trigger Happy can stop them.
Things suddenly swapping the other way because
and the fight will continue.
The shield pops down from Kuchikopi. Nade, Reaper in your face, everything.
And here comes Brad with the ult here, trying to see if he can trap the team. All he's doing is basically stalling out here. Unfortunately, this is not a hybrid map, which means that everybody is going to get at least a minimum of a minute to actually go back onto the attack. Graviton right into the doorway is going to stop them. We're going back. This has been a very, very tough match here. And Trigger Happy unable to stop Slaughterhouse here. So 3-3 here. A minute will be added to Slaughterhouse. 2:52 here in the time bank for Trigger Happy. Slaughterhouse will be going again here to try to see if they can break this bunker defense. They did a pretty damn good job here on the offense here, being able to just slowly but surely move that Payload along, Pulse. And Trigger Happy here must be a little disappointed that they weren't able to full hold this map.
Yeah, I would attribute that to Trigger Happy sort of folding a little bit more than anything. Keep people where they want to be. They're kind of picking up weird setup times, and they sort of just staggered on for all of the end of B and on to C.
Hmm.
So they have to be careful about doing that. Like, if your strength is bunker and then all of a sudden you swap and you stop, when you swap heroes, you stop talking or you stop communicating, then you got to figure out what the problem's going on there, because that's exactly what happened. They were doing perfectly fine until they just sort of started losing, and then they just let it keep happening. I don't know if there's a better way to put it, but it looked like they just got a little bit tilted, maybe.
Maybe like when they broke their defense, they didn't expect them to get that far. But now with only a minute, this is a problematic offense here with Slaughterhouse, because they're going to have to try to break this offense. And they're basically doing what Trigger Happy did. They're abandoning the cart altogether, or they're sending the D.Va there to make sure that the cart is abandoned. So there's a 5v5 here on the members that are going to try to sort of wrap them around. What they don't really realize is that the D.Va has the Lucio on lockdown. Finally, they're going to end up moving it a little bit, as the fight here will actually sort of stop them. And now Brad and Rufino do the damage that they need to do. The Lucio does move the payload a little bit, but he had to sort of bail because both of the supports ended up trying to double team him, and now it looks like they're going to use that little mini grab to see if they can eliminate Flower Child and Jeju there. It looks like Rufino trying to see if he can get anybody down, as the Junkrat here trying his best to make sure that they can get through. Immortality Field gets dropped right onto the payload here. Would have thought maybe you want to keep that onto the high ground, but I think it's making sure that they keep the defenders alive. And now it looks like Brad is able to eliminate Irate Observe. Overtime ticking down here. Here comes the ult, and I think this is going to be it. He's just going to fire into that hallway, try to see if he can eliminate anybody they can. All that's left is Coco Dust, who is moving the payload here. Got to make sure that they take him out. Immortality Field is just going to make sure he's going to be able to stay alive. Coco Dust can't stay close enough to the payload, as he can't go in. And that is where the payload stops. Right there in the middle of the doorway. Oh boy.
Yeah, 3 minutes. This should be a win, unless almost a miracle comes off from the side of Slaughterhouse. Because if they do the exact same thing they did the first time, even though they didn't push it for a good 30-40 seconds, they still more or less got the cart to this position off of that first team fight win, and they looked a lot more coordinated doing it too.
Yeah, and they realized is, like, they committed all 6 on their attack to just make sure they took out the high ground defense. So you got to believe that Slaughterhouse probably thinking the same thing here, that they're going to come up at them and they're just going to try to avoid forget about the payload and just try to get the payload moving after they sort of knock them down and force them back into spawn. But this is the first time we've seen Slaughterhouse go to the bunker comp, because you look it up and here it is. There it is. Coco Dust, Jeju, and everyone are going to this bunker comp, so they're going to try to see if they can hold them here, doing what Trigger Happy did to them.
And it's probably one of their best bets. If they were staying on what they were before, I would say keep an eye out for Jeju, because the only reason they really started winning fights was because Jeju kept getting 6-man nades on the entire enemy team, and it just allowed their Irate Observer and everyone else to just go swinging through them. But we see a couple of adjustments. They expected the bunker, and now they're just running afar. If they can boot this high ground bunker off, then it becomes a lot easier to break for the offense.
Yeah, it really does. As Rufino is able to get Vesper X down, that is huge, but the res comes back, so they're able to rescue, but too many deaths here. As Brad finishes off Coco Dust, there's just too many deaths going on, and then the Immortality Field will allow them to take the point uncontested. Trigger Happy, we're ready for that. My goodness. They take a 2-1 lead here on the Slaughterhouse, and this sort of knockdown, drag-out fight, as now Slaughterhouse will have the advantage here of picking the next map. Oh boy.
Yeah, this map definitely has the ability to go 5. I don't know if every map did today, but some of them have been a little one-sided. This is not one of those maps.
This is not at all. You see Brad there with 70% kill participation here, as we will end up going back to the map ban, so you will see what we have played and what is available. I think both teams here going to be asking for a little bit of a break, so we're going to actually take a break here. In the meantime, you'll see what the teams are going to have to go through. Pulse and I will come back and we'll discuss all that's lead up here and maybe have an update from some of the other games here in the Scrub Cup semifinals. It is an initial lead here from Trigger Happy. They are up 2-1 on Team 4 Slaughterhouse. They're going for the win in the next round, but it will be Slaughterhouse's map pick. So stay tuned.
Kings Row.
Alrighty, folks. A little bit of a surprise here as they've gone through the map bans. Sorry we haven't been able to sort of broadcast them, but it is going to be Kings Row. Kings Row is going to be the next map here from both of the teams. Pulse just making sure that Slaughterhouse and Trigger Happy are all set with where they want to be. I think teams might be switching here, so trying to see what is going on here from both sides. Pulse, we were discussing this offline. We thought Kings Row possibly is the worst choice of map that Trigger Happy could have picked because they were playing the sort of bunker comp here, but instead they didn't ban it and allowed Slaughterhouse to sort of pick it.
Yeah, for sure. And there are ways to play with Orisa and Kings Row, but it is a little bit more difficult than some of the other maps available. Like, you could ban Kings Row, then it'd open up playing like Eichenwald, which is scary, playing into a bunker, especially on point A or some other of the other ones.
Yeah, so looks like here we might have to switch sides as looks like. Not exactly sure what is going on. Yep, there we go. There's the team switch there.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that everyone is that the correct people are picking it. So
yeah. So now Trigger Happy will end up in blue, and it will be Slaughterhouse now in red. You've seen pretty much the opposite happen here on the other side. So, oops. So as we're just sort of getting everything ready here, I just want to make sure that everybody's updated on the most recent bracket. So let us show you what is going on here in the bracket side. Congratulations to Team 10. On the split 2 side of the bracket, they are able to advance all the way to the grand finals here. That is Team 10 LFRMT looking for real main tank. JCM has done a great job here coaching that team. They, along with Chobus, Illy, Burger, Dead Inside, Brule, and Shellshock, you will see them in the grand finals tomorrow on Split 2's side of the Scrub Cup. So congratulations to them. They are the first confirmed grand finals team here in the Scrub Cup. So just making sure that everything is up, all on the up and up here. Looks like, yes, it will be Slaughterhouse will be on offense first, and Trigger Happy will be on defense. They need to switch the names here, so Not Real going to have to switch the names here on the other side to make sure that everything here is on the up and up. He has not done so.
the
game frozen?
Name? No, I just got reassigned. So
okay.
I think that's what we want. Trigger Happy called for attack first because
did they really?
They won the last one. Trigger Happy won, so that means they get first ban. Slaughterhouse picks map. They get to pick. Everything should be good now.
Oh, okie dokie. All right, so no real changes here. Oh, just to give you guys an update, it is 2-1 here with regards to the maps that have been going on. So our next map here will be Kings Row. Oops, whoops, not Dorado. What am I doing? I'm also doubling as your producer today. So therefore, please excuse some of the graphics issues that we've been having. Here we go. There's Kings Row.
Oh, you're out of practice.
I'm out of practice. You know, I haven't even shown the scoreboard once today. This is one of those maps in which a scoreboard probably would be necessary. But now, situation time here to explain what has been going on. Team Trigger Happy, who is now on offense, will be going for the win here and a place in the grand finals. They will want to defeat Slaughterhouse here on Kings Row. Slaughterhouse's pick, though, is this map. So, therefore, Slaughterhouse thinking they can maybe drag them into a map 5 because there is no picks into map 5. They go to a tiebreaker, and that is on Nepal. So, therefore, no map picking after this map. So, you know, we were talking offline. We were thinking that this was going to be Trigger Happy's worst map, but maybe we were wrong. Maybe they have special strategies here for Kings Row.
I would say that we were just this was picked by Slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
And we were debating that, you know, we've seen really good bunker so far from Trigger Happy. If they want to ban a map, this is probably the least one conducive to bunker, so they should ban this one. But it didn't end up going that way. They banned King of the Hill, which is arguably another one that's pretty bad for bunker. So we end up going to Kings Row now. And Vesper is given a chance to shine on May again. The walls were very good on Oasis, especially Oasis University. If they're not prepared for it or not expecting it, or even from earlier tonight, they can really throw a wrench in it.
Oh, and then here they go. They catch Rufino here, and they're just going to focus on her. Down she goes. Kuchiko not going to be able to save him, but they lose Irate at the same time. That is not good. Losing your main tank in a terrible position here is going to force the remaining members here to just sort of back up. They lose Miko in the process, but are able to sort of gain position here. Coco is going to be super, super important. Coco Dust, but Kuchiko and Miko here able to sort of push back the members. Vesper X and AP Flower Child not going to be able to survive here, as Kuchikovi going to be able to sort of survive onto the point. That is until Kebab took them out, but now it's just going to be a matter of time. Irate here is by himself. He's going to get nano boosted here, looking to be the hero, gets slept. Going to wait until that is going to wear off. Not going to be able to stop that. Lulz Ultra feeding a little bit, getting taken out there. Another wall into the corner here as Vesper trying his best to sort of survive here onto the point. AP Flower Child again trying to sort of survive onto that point. Very slow take here as the delay is actually been very, very good here by Slaughterhouse considering the situation. And now finally it is done. Trigger Happy will take it. 5:05 here on the clock. They were able to hold it. They were able to hold it for a minute there, but it was just gone all wrong on that defense here for Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, the Slaughterhouse traded a lot of time on the clock for the ult advantage that the attackers are coming out with now. We see 6 check marks online. Everyone on Trigger Happy has an opportunity to play coming. Whereas on the defense, you have some counterplay available, but you don't have the sound barrier to protect against anything. You don't have a nano to initiate with the fight. If you can maybe build a Blizzard or get a good Tyra to start, to even get space for your Rein or Zarya to do something. But unless that happens, this is just going to be them waiting out while Park gets free push.
Yeah, exactly. So here they come. They've decided to take the fight really high here, as there's only going to be one person on to the point. And a big shatter here will catch the back, but they're kind of caught in a graviton as a bomb gets sent into the back area. Tyre's going to come out here. Coco Dust going to finish off Lulz Ultra and Kuchiko as the payload is going to come around to the first corner, but not any farther. So they didn't get that much movement. They needed to win that fight, because then they were going to be able to sort of make sure that they take a little bit of advantage here. Maru's caught there. Anna's going to be staggered very, very badly here. So the Anna's going to take a while to come back. There is 3:46 here left on the clock, as they are going to be trying to make sure that they don't get any further. Slaughterhouse here trying to sort of set up right here on the first corner.
Yeah, and they have the wall up. The wall's down actually now because Vesper just misplaced a single wall. So they're going to have free push pretty much all the way to this corner, and they still have a grab. Everything else was pretty much used in that last fight with the exception of sound barrier from AP Flower Child. That's the only defensive they have right now.
Yeah. Wow, Lucio came out, but it came out late. There's only going to be one person here on the point, and Vesper, trying to be a hero here, is going to freeze all 6 members. And will they be able to take him down, as Vesper trying his best to use that ult to make sure that everybody gets taken down? And he's going to do it, because there's enough stall here to make sure that maybe they can turn the advantage around the corner, as Irate Observe is going to be able to combat. So it's a 6v5. Wall comes back up. That's going to counter the Earth Shatter here. Another Graviton will catch members here of Trigger Happy, as again they're going to get caught out again, but they're able to survive here, as Kuchiko and Miko here able to sort of survive as long as they can, waiting for Brad to sort of come back. He's going to come around the corner here, but they've sort of frozen him out. Finally, Kuchiko goes down, but not before some trades happening in the back. Flower Child trying to run, not going to make it. And Vesper gets blown up too. Now this is a 6v5. They don't have a Rein, but that's not going to matter, as Irate Observe here is by himself, is going to get taken out. And what a weird fight here, and that's going to result pretty much here in Trigger Happy catching point B.
And they're pushing Kebab and Jeju all the way back. Taken out, but manages to sleep Rufino to save his own life. And Rufino's getting ferried back into his team from Wall. They're going to regroup. Everything's going to kind of reset for this final fight. And now the defense has a chance to restabilize, because they have some of these big ults coming online. They have Blizzard, they have pretty much everything. Jeju just building up to Nano, now they have 6. But the grab comes out from Brad first.
Yeah, Brad gets out with a big grenade, but Coco Dust will end the fight right there with a big tire taking out 3.5, while Irate Observe will finish off everybody else. But I think maybe the investment in ults there might have been a lot because they did have to invest about 3 ults to get that. Now they do have a nano boosted Earth Shatter that's going to be available here on defense, as ults are going to be coming up here on the side of Trigger Happy.
Vesper even threw in Blizzard and was eaten by me. Really good eat by there. Irate already blown charge.
Oh, and a big shatter here will catch the members of Slaughterhouse as they're getting dumped into infinity there, as somebody got thrown over the edge. Kuchiko will get slept there, but Kokodust gets taken out, and they have free reign here to come down the main pipe, as it looks like the members here are going to be starting to come out soon. It looks like Rufino got caught, as well as Ultra is going to have to pack protective for Geek. Earth Shatter from Irate Observe goes directly into the shield of Kuchiko. But Kuchiko's there is got to be careful. She is grenaded, so she is purple, so no healing coming through onto the Rhine. But lulls Ultra with a big boop! Big 2-kill there on Irate and on the Mei, and they're going to be able to clear this out. And Trigger Happy there with a great Section 3 to assert their dominance here on King's Row.
They're able to close it out incredibly fast, and they have a promising time bank for the next round, about 2 minutes to take it. And first of all, finishing King's Row sets you up very well. Finishing King's Row with over a minute sets you up even better, especially knowing that they're probably going to be running a Mei or a Sombra. Those are ones where they'll win fights occasionally, but if you just out-pressure it, even if you want to do an Orisa high ground hold with Bastion again, you can. Just things are looking very in their favor based on what we've seen tonight.
Yeah, 15 seconds here. Both teams are going to have to decide what they want to do. So Trigger Happy doing what they needed to do here to see if they could close out this match against Slaughterhouse. They completed King's Row with a time bank of 157. So it looks like here they will go to the bunker comp, and it is their bread and butter. They are very experienced in sort of defending here, but the location of the bunker comp is going to be the interesting part. Will they defend forward or they'll defend back? Most likely, most teams usually defend on the high ground left, I think, towards the choke. Am I right with that, Pulse?
That's where a lot of ones sort of started setting up. They started setting up so they have free reign all the way to the Widow high ground, and it keeps people from sniping you out, but you really have to be careful, play with cover. And as long as they do that, though, it's going to be scary to try and break this.
Well, it looks like here they're not trying to expose themselves and let them know what they're doing. Now, finally, they've set up here up on the top corner. Brad is going to be right there in the middle of that bunker comp on that Bastion again. So now they're just going to try to see if they can sort of ferry themselves through the hotel. Ooh, good mini grab there to make everybody come through. Jeju got taken out. So they lose their Ana, they lose Kebab here, and now they have a great angle. People are now trapped in the hotel. Vesper actually getting hit by a random grenade here as Brad finishes off AP Flower Child. And a good start here from the bunker comp from Team 13, as they will have a good start off here with a good buildup of ults as they come through the choke again. Kokodust seeing to see whether or not he can grenade over the wall and get this bunker comp.
And you see Miko doing the exact same thing, but completely zoning out Vesper from getting close.
And now Immortality Field will get dropped here onto the members of the bunker comp. So now they're going to have to sort of reposition. Rufino here trying to see if he can catch a Jeju, who was by himself, but 4 members already on the point here, already a tick, but they don't really need to worry about that as they need to make sure they need to reposition and finish out the members here of Team 4. Slaughterhouse here has to sort of force themselves off of the point, and now with the window down here, Brad is going to try to position himself to give himself an angle on the window. Not going to be able to do so as a nano-boosted Irate Observe here will be swinging away at all of the members. Brad has got the ult, seeing who can he finish off. He's going to get 1 kill, well, actually 2 kills before he himself gets taken down, as Maru comes down here with another Immortality Field. Ooh, a Junkrat tire from Rufino doesn't make it in time, and I think this is going to be the take here on point A. A little slower than what Trigger Happy did, but they did kill an additional minute off the clock.
And they won't get split spawn. Well, Rufino will get split spawn. Everyone else will be able to hold this front corner if they want. But Vesper is doing a good job making sure they can get up to EMP before any real engagement happens. They have an EMP, they have Shatter, they have plenty of things to combo coming up for this next fight to keep it rolling, especially since you're playing into an Orisa. All you need to do is EMP, and the shield's down, the Orisa can't fortify, you should get a free team fight win off of this.
Yeah, and Miko's like basically rotating, trying to see if they can get anybody, and that EMP hit everybody. Everybody was actually too tight together, and as soon as the EMP hit, Irate Observe was ready with the Earth Shatter, and they're going to catch everyone here. They weren't able to catch out the Sombra to make sure that they couldn't EMP in time, but that is going to be just an easy fight win here for Slaughterhouse. So that's how they're going to try to sort of break this defense. Payload's coming around the corner here. 350 on the clock. They've got tons of time. This is a fight that they Trigger Happy needs to win, but they are down on ults, and the advantage is strictly with Slaughterhouse.
Especially after they threw away the Orisa. I would have done that myself, throw away the equipment just to switch behind. But you're going to have me behind a couple fights, and this tire's just going to clean them up.
Yeah, that tire just took down everyone. Irate didn't actually need to be nano boosted there, so they actually end up wasting that a little bit as they are just charging through King's Row. 4:51 still left on the clock, and that payload is moving around to the first corner, and no defense to be found. Trigger Happy here trying to see if they can still gather up as a team, but remember, they actually threw away their ult advantage here. They had about 5 ults going into that fight. Now there's only like 1 left here from AP Flower Child, and it is a Lucio ult here. But Lulz Ultra able to take out Vesper X with low, trying to sneak around the high ground, and this is going to kill some time off the clock as they're going to have to wait for their Sombra to come back.
Yeah, it's absolutely the best case scenario for Trigger Happy. They can push forward, get these last remaining, just respawn now. So if they can keep these kills rolling and keep taking a 6v5 until they get an ult advantage, they win. They win by shaving off so much time from this clock.
So it looks like Kuchiko there trying to move Irate Observe out of position, and that's exactly what they do. And this is actually really great strategy here from Trigger Happy. They're just looking for individual picks to make sure that they can just sort of throw off the timing here of Slaughterhouse. And by doing so, they've already killed a good minute on this clock. So now finally, it looks like all the members are finally back. Yep, looks like everybody's ready. Vesper X here, 10% to the EMP. Another thing that Trigger Happy have to be worried about here is that EMP coming in and another combo coming in from Slaughterhouse, who have been very good with their ult combos. Nano Boost actually in onto Kuchiko here, and here comes a Shatter. Will catch people in the back, but they don't want to be too aggressive as a counter Shatter will come in. Graviton comes in with a tire coming in. They're trying to see if they can actually combo that, but it looks like Kuchiko unfortunately was not able to survive the tire. 3 minutes here left on the clock, and now kills going the way here of Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, just barely. Kebab actually getting some really good right-click nades and picking up the rest of them. So Brad and Rafina are going to have to get back so that they don't get staggered out. If they get staggered, that's pretty much the end of the map for Trigger Happy.
Yeah, and Brad takes down Vesper X here, so that's a big take. Graviton will actually take 2 members here, but a good Lucio ult will shield the members in the back. Big Diva Bomb in the back. Irate's going to have to fall back to protect, not going to be able to do anything there. But Kuchiko goes down, losing the main tank again here, unable to keep that shield up. Big grenade there will catch the main tank as Irate goes down. EMP again comes out here, as only going to be able to take out 3 members, as Rafino and Brad are the main beneficiaries of that EMP. A big grenade now coming in as Kuchiko here. Just got to make sure you keep that shield up. 2 minutes here, 2:15 here left on the clock, as now it looks like they are going to fall back and reset this fight, Pulse.
Absolutely, and as they roll into this last fight, we've now hit time in the map. Well, really the first time in the map where Slaughterhouse is going to be behind in time for sure on Trigger Happy, which means that things are getting really scary. They absolutely need to win this map if they want to have a shot at even going to map 5, and it's not really looking good right now. They have a tire and grab, which is a combo they've been relying on pretty well so far, but they need to see value from it right now if they want to get this win.
Oh, big shatter here by Kuchiko, and she's nano boosted also, so it down goes everyone, and that was a huge combo there, and they still have a grab and a Lucio ult, so it looks like he's going to be able to, they're going to be able to send them back packing with 1 minute here on the clock. Ults are going to be necessary, and a big combo here, probably from Kebab and Coco Dust, are going to be absolutely necessary, but Brad can maybe prevent it with a Graviton as they're going to come in again. They're sort of rushing in because that was a big wipe. Here it comes. Here comes the tire and the Graviton. Coco Dust looking for a target. Doesn't get one. The grenade took it out from Maru, and now here comes the counter grab. As an Earth Shatter comes in from Irate, and Irate catches them down. Oh my goodness, catches 5 as down goes Kuchiko and Rafino. so they lose the Brigitte and the Reinhardt here. 42 seconds left, and they got to move this payload, and now it's a matter of time. They've lost too many players here, but they're stalling this clock as best as they can. If I am trigger happy, I try to get this in overtime and give myself a chance to win on point A.
Because winning in overtime isn't enough right now. At best for a draw. There's going to be one final contest coming through from Kuchiko and a Diva Bomb from Miko, but we'll see how much value that gets.
Yeah, EMP comes in, so they're not going to be able to use their ults here. So it's going to be a matter of time. 12 seconds left. Big shatter there by Fry. Wraith is going to take down Kuchiko. So unfortunately, they're not going to be able to do that. 5 seconds to tick to go. They're going to have to go to overtime. That's going to be able to do it. No, there's no members left. They had to bail on the point. Overtime ticks down. Even if they were to finish it, they're going to have to give Trigger Happy a free push onto the point. Fire Strike comes in. They just need to get the members here of Slaughterhouse off, and they will win this match. Graviton will catch the members behind the payload. Vesper X gets taken down. Coco Dust trying to get the tire out. Does get the tire out, but gets killed in the process. Big shatter from Kuchiko, and now it looks like they're going to be able to finish off the members. That's going to do it. Trigger Happy is going to win this match. I thought they might have to give it to Slaughterhouse, but no, they take the win off an epic hold here on Kings Row. Fantastic game here by Trigger Happy. And Slaughterhouse, man, they're going to be regretting that point 3. They had upwards of 4.5 minutes on this section, and they're going to be trying to look back on this and try to figure out what went wrong.
That was a very close match, but it was just such a Herculean effort from the defense on point C there that it would have been hard to set it up. I think that the only real shot they would have had, Slaughterhouse would have had coming in to take that point C, is just being a little bit more aggressive on their alt combos and doing a bit better job making sure the junk tires could follow through, because a couple of them just started getting destroyed. They were able to really just focus them down before they found any value. And both teams' Ryans were very early to put down their shield, which is something that I've had to learn as I learned to climb the ladders, but both sides were doing it, so it's not like if one team did it better it would have helped them a little bit, but it's one of those things that both teams could have improved on. And if they were a little bit more focused, they might have found one or two fights where could have blocked a purple that led to their defeat, or helped protect the tire, or kept one remaining person alive. But it was overall an incredibly aggro fight for the last 4.5 minutes.
Absolutely. That was a epic hold there by Trigger Happy. So they will advance to the grand finals here. So let me just make sure I am able to sort of edit here in the background and give you the updated graphics of what I have. So this is a live table that we're going to be showing you folks. So this is what I have. I don't have results here of the Team 15, Team 14 match. Unfortunately, I do not know who their opponent is going to be, but we look at the playoff bracket and you will see Team 13, they will be in the grand finals on Sunday. Team 4 will actually end up playing on Sunday too. They will go to the alternate match. They will be in the sort of third place match here in this table, so we'll make sure that they actually get a little bit of credit here. So congratulations to them. They will make it into the third place match, but that was a hard match for Team 4, and they showed that they were absolutely fantastic. They will play the loser of Team 15, Team 14, whereas Team 13 will be going to the grand final, and they will play the winner of B2, which is Team 15 and Team 14. Final thoughts on what you've seen today, Pulse? This was a great match between Team 4 and Team 13. It could have gone either way.
Yeah, it definitely could have gone at 5 too, but that final hold, it really got to the point where Trigger Happy was just feeling it, and they showed it. Going forward, I think Trigger Happy will be a team to really watch out for. If anything, just because of their bunker, it's very polished on it. There are a couple things they could have fixed, but nothing too major. And one of the things that I think teams don't do a really good job at this level that Trigger Happy did very well was one, spamming down approaching teams. So that part's a little bit easier for gold elo teams, but especially spy checking and making sure that you're not always looking in the back, making sure that no Sombra could get in, because Sombra is like one of the first things you think of when I need to counter a bunker, what do. So completely zoned out Vesper, completely made sure that no one would be able to approach them for free. You got to watch out for Miko, and just overall good understanding of where to set up on maps as bunker.
Yeah, exactly. So, Team 15, Team 14 are going to have a hell of a game that they're going to have to play against the winner, Team 13, in the grand final. So, that's going to do it for the casting tonight. It is midnight on the East Coast, which means I turn 41 years old as of 6 minutes ago, Pulse.
Happy birthday, Autumn.
Thank you very much. So that is going to be that for me. I will be casting a final, I think, sometime tomorrow. I think it'll end up being on the main Scrub Cup channel. So therefore, it's going to be one of those things. I think we're going to be done with my personal channel tomorrow, and we will be on the main channel. So catch myself or Raza, supposed to be partner, depending on what you're doing this weekend, Pulse, who will be my partner in one of the grand finals. But that is going to be that for us. Slaughterhouse here go down to Trigger Happy. They will go to the third place game. Trigger Happy will go to the grand finals. Their opponent to be determined, as I do not know who they will be playing. Maybe I have an update here right now. Nope, no update here right now. So in the meantime, thank you very much for joining us. Catch all the finals and the third place games tomorrow, either on my channel or on the main Scrub Cup channel. But for Pulse, I am Hodo. Thank you so much for joining us for some great Scrub Cup action in today. The opening rounds of the playoffs have been amazing. We hope to catch you tomorrow during the grand finals and the third place game. But for Pulse, I'm Hodo. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow.